Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It's sports season. One of the sports played here in the Federation is netball. Netball is a ball sport played by two teams of 7 players. Games are played on a rectangular court with raised goals and rings at each end. The objective of the game is to score goals from within a defined area by throwing a ball into a ring attached to a 10-foot high post. The St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association is the official organization that represents netball here in the Federation. This association seeks to address and promote the interests of netball on both islands under one umbrella. Today, we warmly welcome Jaedee Caines in her capacity as the Public Relations Officer of the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association. In addition to that, we are also joined by Latoya Ceaser, Vice Captain and player on the St. Kitts and Nevis National Netball team. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
Okay. The OECS and ECCB International...
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
You're welcome, Ms. Caines. The OECS and ECCB International Netball Series was launched in 2019. Has our national team participated then?
Yes.
Okay.
No, sorry, I thought you said,
Okay,
you said 2019.
can you repeat the question?
Okay. The OECS or the ECCB International Netball Series was launched in 2019. Has our national team participated in that year?
2019.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I was having a little bit of a challenge hearing you just now, but yes,
okay.
We actually participated this year, and the lovely Latoya was among the team players. She was the vice captain.
Okay, so where was it held?
This year? In Dominica.
This year it was held in Dominica.
Right.
Okay. So Dominica was the host country of this year's tournament. Give us an update on the team performance. Latoya, I'll ask you that one since you were there.
Okay, well, despite the challenges in terms of the time we had to train together as a team, etc., I think the overall performance was pretty good. It wasn't what we hoped for or what we expected, but it was good.
Okay, so Ms. Caines, would you like to add to that? Would you agree?
Yes, okay. I agree 100% with Latoya. It was actually pretty good exposure for our ladies who hadn't played netball really in a long time. You know, you saw some clubs practicing here and there, but we were really challenged because of the protocols and, you know, the dynamics of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we in the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association are really proud of the young ladies who represented us recently in Dominica in terms of what they were able to accomplish and the exposure that they gained. One of the things that should be noted, though, is that the young ladies, although they did fairly well, they struggled some on the wet surface. And so, that is not something we normally do a lot here, so that we can work on for the next time, because the weather condition in Dominica was very inclement at the time. Yeah. So notwithstanding, we are so proud of what the young ladies were able to accomplish and the exposure that they received.
Okay, so congrats again, Latoya.
Thank you.
How many did the national team win against, and which countries? I'll start with Latoya right here.
Unfortunately, we lost all our games. We played 5 games, but we lost all 5.
Sorry to hear, but
okay.
But next time we know we're gonna win all 5, right?
Yes.
It's small, but we talk about, right? Okay. So Ms. Caines, so what work will the netball team put in concerning winning the games going forward? I should put it that way.
Okay, good. So how this team was chosen, if I can share a little bit about that. So we had representation from varying clubs here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a national team, and so right now we are functioning under a St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association. There is no St. Kitts Netball team or Nevis Netball team. It's nationally. Bear in mind as well that because of protocols in Dominica, we had to ensure that the criteria became a little bit tighter, because we could only, for example, select players who were fully vaccinated, and they had to meet a particular criteria. And so that in itself posed a challenge, because we may not necessarily in all cases get this is not to diminish the performance of the young ladies who we have, but we may not necessarily be getting a true picture of the representation or the ability of Team St. Kitts and Nevis based on certain criteria that was put in place. Notwithstanding, we hired the services of a coach. So we had a coach in Mr. Murdoch, who joined us from Jamaica. We also had a trainer. We had a manager, we had an entire team. And if I may just quickly share who this team comprised, we had the manager, Alistair Thompson, the coach was Sean Murdoch, the trainer was Mr. Orville Thompson, and we thank them so much for the work that they put in and will continue to put in along with others here on St. Kitts and Nevis to get our ladies better equipped and better trained for the next set of tournaments. And the players were Captain Natalie Sutton, Vice Captain Latoya Ceaser, who is here with me. We had Joelle Thompson, Aliyah Gibson, Rochella Challenger, Kirish Richardson, Kalik Challenger, Rodona Nanton, Diana Brown, Tashika Bowen, and Cassine Russell Smith. And those were the representatives of Team S.K.N. So yes, we are already, we've done the postmortem and we are already looking at ways of improving our performance going forward. And one way that we plan to do this is to have more tournaments on the local level, which will serve as great practice for the girls.
Okay. And I would say congrats to all the hard work you're putting in, and once again, congrats to the girls. Just before we go to a commercial break, though, one last question. How can individual or even businesses, you're welcome, contribute towards the team's travels or any other future activities the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association may have?
Well, Latoya can tell you about some of the work that they themselves did as players, because they too did pulled a very big portion of the weight in terms of getting sponsorship. But we are always appealing to businesses and individuals, persons who love the game, to support us. When you support the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association, girls and not so young women and girls to get that exposure, you're also doing something good for the country known as St. Kitts and Nevis, because this helps us to go out there and participate in other activities. For example, our organization, our association was recently re-established in terms of St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association. Prior, we had a St. Kitts Netball Association, and we had an even Netball Nevis that would organize games and tournaments on the island levels. However, together, whenever there is representation for the country, it's the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association. And so we were not in a position financially to cover the entire weight of the tournament that was recently held in Dominica. And so we are so grateful to the businesses and individuals that came on board and organizations that came on board and offered assistance. And this is where I now, as the PRO, that push out here and really asks for persons to support us. You don't have to wait for a tournament. Just come in and reach out to any member of the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association and ask how you can assist us. Our treasurer is Rodona Nanton, and she is more than willing and ready to accept any sort of contribution, whether it be financial or in kind. And so we welcome that level of support.
Okay, so Latoya, during the break, we were speaking about sponsorship. So can you elaborate on the sponsorships that you received prior to going to this tournament? And can you tell us of future plans to continue to raise funds for your upcoming tournament that you mentioned in October in the island of Jamaica?
Okay, because of timing and a lot of other stuff that happened, we were unable to focus on the main fundraisers that we were to do, but however, we proceeded to distribute sponsor sheets to each player, and we were able to go and ask our friends and families for little donations that little by little it made up, and we were able to use that and assist with our trip. However, in October 2022, from the 15th to the 21st, there will be a tournament held in Jamaica as well, where we are hoping to participate. So we will be doing different fundraisers, bake sales, dinners, etc. So I'm asking everyone to come on out and support us. If you can't make it, you can still donate.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And you heard it here first. So you go out and you support the Netball Association. So I'm gonna speak to you again, Latoya. What are the benefits, personal or otherwise, playing netball?
Well, it's a lot of benefits. You learn to work together as a team. You can put that into your work lifestyle. Mentally, you learn discipline, having to be on time. You can differentiate between a friend and a manager, superior, who you have to pay attention to no matter your age, and these kind of things take you through life.
That's good, that's good. So Ms. Caines, how can an experienced player attain the level of netball coach?
Can you repeat that? You're sounding a little soft now.
How can an experienced player attain the level of netball coach?
Well, you know, most of the persons who end up coaching or even being trainers have been around the game for a very long time. And so what we do is we just encourage our players, persons who love the game, to continue at it. There are also lots of training opportunities that continue to good at what you do. You exhibit good management skills. You have the opportunity to apply for any of the positions that are available. In fact, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, we had positions available that were open to anyone to participate, to be part of. We had the position of coach, we had the position of trainer. So these have training sessions that will help people who love the game versus who are interested in being part of it. Now, I want to pause here and just remind people that you don't necessarily have to be a player or even a good player to be part of the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association or contribute to it. For example, when we have our local leagues or even national leagues, there are volunteers that we need. We need persons to help in scoring. Well, yes, that comes with some level of training, but we also need persons to help with certain things that may not require formal training. So as long as you're willing to assist, we are willing to accommodate you. For example, tomorrow on the 19th, I know that Netball St. Kitts will be having a meeting, and that is a good opportunity for persons to, if you're part of a club on the island of St. Kitts, ensure that you send your representatives to that meeting. I also want to encourage persons who are not yet part of any netball club on St. Kitts or Nevis to become part of that netball club, because that is ultimately how you become a member of the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association.
Okay, so we're almost out of time, but I just need to ask this question quickly. What is the future for the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association?
Well, I am hoping that young ladies like Latoya and the others who went on to Dominica would have created such an interest in others who are able to look at them and say, wow, that could be me as well. And they will come forward and really take the sport much more seriously. I understand that some persons were a bit discouraged because they hadn't played in a while, and that's natural. But we do have some young ladies and not so young ladies who love the sport and will continue to work towards the sport. And as long as we have the commitment from the players and we have the commitment from the executive, and we will get, now that we are here on Studio 327, Good Morning S.K.N., we will get the support of the general public. The future for netball in St. Kitts and Nevis will be very bright.